The House will come to order. Prayer by the Chaplain.
Tuesday, April 28th, 2015. A storm thunders along the river as it roams through the city, home to some of us for 2,000 years, home to others of us who left our native lands to escape famine or war or worse, and we are all immigrants. Some of us have called Minnesota home for 6 generations, some of us for 6 weeks. We abandoned other hills to seek what every woman, man, and child seeks, simply to survive. We packed our suitcases with the tools of hard work and a grandmother's quilt and the 7 green hills of St. Paul, where the new music of 230 languages sings now, welcome us. Our ancestral travelers left a legacy of colossal strength and some weakness. There is no escaping thunder. Rain lashes every window. The blues singer croons woke up this morning, and we did. We know that what we do now reverberates forward through time and space, and with every ounce of our talent exercised, we step up to the plate. The sun begins to break through, and like you, our hometown heirs, and with our, oh no, that is really a terrible mistake. And like you, our hometown heroes, and with all the goodwill of the St. Paul Saints, you will hit a powerful line drive, just as the stories of those who first staked a claim and began to build the state of Minnesota were told by the poets gone before us. Stories of your courage will long be noted. The wisdom and heart given to us by our ancestral travelers will serve you well now as you begin to do what must be done. Thank you.
The chaplain for today is Carol M. Connolly, St. Paul Poet Laureate from St. Paul, Minnesota. Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing and recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. The member from Hennepin, Representative Kahn. For what purpose do you rise?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to a point of personal privilege.
State your point of personal privilege.
Thank you for announcing that the chaplain of today is St. Paul's Poet Laureate, but I'd also need to add to that that this is a totally fitting finish to the month of April, which is National Poetry Month. So thank all the members for allowing a poem to come into their lives today.
The clerk will take the roll.
clerk will close the roll. A quorum is present. The clerk will read the calendar from the preceding day.
Journal of the House, 89th session, 48th day, St. Paul, Minnesota, Monday, April 27th, 2015.
If there is no objection, further reading of the journal will be dispensed with, and the journal will be approved as corrected by the chief clerk. Hearing and seeing no objections, the journal is approved as corrected by the chief clerk. Messages from the Senate.
Message from the Senate, Mr. Speaker. I hereby announce the Senate refuses to concur in the House amendments to the following Senate file number 888. The Senate has respectfully requested a conference committee be appointed therein. The Senate has appointed as such committee Senator Saxhog, Pappas, Carlson, Wicklund, and Metzen. Signed Joanne M. Zoff, Secretary of the Senate. Anderson S. moved that the House accede to the request of the Senate and that the Speaker appoint a conference committee of 5 members of the House to meet with a like committee appointed by the Senate on the disagreeing votes of the 2 houses on Senate file number 888.
First reading of Senate files. Representative Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And yes, that is my motion to cede and that the Speaker appoint 5 appointees for the House side.
All those in favor of the Anderson motion signify by saying aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Messages from the Senate. Oh, excuse me, we have one more.
Mr. Speaker, I hereby announce the passage by the Senate of the following Senate file herewith transmitted. Senate file number 1647 and the signed by Secretary of the Senate, Joanne M. Zoff.
First reading of Senate files.
First reading of Senate file. Senate file number 1647, an act relating to transportation. Kelly moved that Senate file number 1647 and House file number 1733, now on the General Register, be referred to the Chief Clerk for comparison.
Hearing no objections, so ordered. Representative Bly, for what purpose do you rise?
Thank you, Speaker. A point of parliamentary inquiry.
State your point of parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Representative Bly.
I would like to ask Representative Hamilton to yield for a series of questions related to a conference committee.
Representative Bly, I have just confirmed Representative Hamilton is not in the chamber, so is unable to yield to questions that you may have at this time.
I wonder if the Majority Leader would yield for a question.
Representative Bly, she will yield.
Mr. Speaker, point of parliamentary inquiry. Is someone allowed to ask other members to yield on a point of parliamentary inquiry?
Representative Pepin, Majority Leader Pepin, it is not allowed for one member under parliamentary inquiry to ask another member questions.
Then I'd like to rise to a privilege of the House.
Representative Bly, state your privilege of the House.
Last night, I received an email message about the conference committee, which was scheduled for 3 o'clock today, and as far as I'm concerned, it is still scheduled for 3 o'clock. I was informed that the conference committee was canceled, and as the chair of the conference committee, I thought this was unusual. And I asked the CA to retract the cancellation and requested that we talk about it in the morning. I did not receive a response to my email until this morning, in which I was told that I needed to talk to Representative Hamilton, which I'm attempting to do. My question had to do with what is the authority for canceling a conference committee meeting? And my understanding, it is the privilege of the chair of that conference committee to schedule the meeting and to cancel it. And so I'm left in this quandary of not knowing what the intent was. Representative Hamilton did not, and I sent Representative Hamilton a message last night as well requesting that he contact me. I told him that I did not like to have the meeting canceled without consultation. If there was a good reason for canceling
Mr. Speaker, point of order.
Representative Sanders, for what purpose do you rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would rise under point of order, section 221 of Masons. Representative Bly asked for a privilege of the House. At this point in time, a privilege of the House is not in order under Masons section 221. Representative Bly would need to raise under a point of personal privilege, and probably more adept to do so during announcements time when Representative Hamilton may or may not be in the chamber. But I don't believe that it's in order at this point in time to do a privilege of the House under this. And so I think at least, Mr. Speaker, if you want to defer ruling, that's fine. But I think that we should step up the decorum of the House and make sure that we're doing things appropriately according to our rules and Masons. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sanders. I will defer ruling on this. Representative Bly, my suggestion is that we continue to attempt to contact Representative Hamilton, and we will certainly try to get him in contact with you when I find him or when others from the Speaker's office find him, to stay in contact with you so that you can have that opportunity to visit if that works.
I would just inform the body this has to do with the avian flu issue, and I'd like to ask the Speaker of Parliamentary Inquiry.
State your point of parliamentary inquiry, Representative Bly.
Can you tell me what is the authority for canceling a conference committee?
Representative Bly, under House Rule, Conference Committee Rules 2.06, Joint Rules, excuse me, under 206, it states that advance notice will be given to schedule a conference committee as soon as possible, and the cancellation of would be likewise as well, as much notice as possible. So that is the conference committee's joint rules.
Thank you.
The Majority Leader, Representative Pepin.
Mr. Speaker and members, I move a recess to the call of the chair approximately 1 p.m. During that time, Rules Committee will meet in room 5, and then the GOP members will meet in caucus in, I did that wrong, the Rules Committee will meet in the basement hearing room, and the GOP caucus will meet in room 5.
Representative Pepin, could you once again state for the body the anticipated time of recess? Representative Pepin. The time that you are planning back, I'm sorry, Representative Pepin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The time that I move recess is 1, or the call of the chair.
Representative Pepin moves a recess of the call of the House until approximately 1 o'clock p.m.
Mr. Speaker.
Or the call of the chair. All those in
Speaker.
favor signify by
Mr.
saying
Speaker.
aye.
Mr. Speaker.
Those
Mr.
opposed?
Speaker.
Oh, Representative Murphy, I'm sorry, I did not see you.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate that. I'm wondering if the majority would yield to a couple of questions, please.
You are asking the Majority Leader to yield?
I am indeed, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Murphy asks the Majority Leader to yield. She will yield. Representative Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Majority Leader Pepin, I'm just asking a couple of questions about the roadmap of the day and the roadmap for the week. So I understand we're going to go into a recess and we will be back at 1 o'clock. Is that a fixed time, Madam Majority Leader?
Representative Murphy, given the challenges we have this session with the Chamber, the Majority Leader is asking you once again to restate the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Majority Leader Pepin, I understand that we are going into recess and you intend to have us back on the floor at 1 o'clock. Is that time a time certain?
Representative Pepin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Representative Murphy, no, I said to the call of the chair approximately 1.
Representative Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and if she would continue to yield.
She will yield.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Majority Leader Pepin, I'm wondering if you can let me know now, and our members know now, what is the order of the bills that we'll be taking up today. We have 3 significant bills that would be helpful for us to understand the order.
Representative Pepin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and Representative Murphy. The plan is to come back, take up the omnibus liquor bill, then take up public safety, and then take up HHS.
Representative Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Majority Leader Pepin, I'm also wondering if you can help us understand the roadmap for the rest of the week, and especially what your intentions are about Saturday.
Representative Pepin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and Representative Murphy. Tomorrow we will be coming into session around 10. We will be recessing for rules and caucus, and we'll be coming back and taking up the tax omnibus bill. Thursday we'll be coming in to session at 10. We'll recess for rules and caucus again likely, and Friday we also will be coming in at 10, and we'll recess for rules and caucus, and we'll be taking up some more bills, and I don't have an answer for past that.
Representative Murphy.
Then thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Representative Pepin. Members of the DFL caucus will meet in room 200 for caucus immediately as we enter into recess. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, point of parliamentary inquiry.
Representative Pinto, state your point of parliamentary inquiry.
In Joint Rule 2.06, the language quoted before about announcing meetings of conference committees, whose responsibility is it to announce those meetings on behalf of the House?
Representative Pinto, to your part of parliamentary inquiry, traditionally what happens is the chair of the committee would schedule the meeting and it would rotate back and forth between House and Senate. As to who canceled it, I know that Representative Bly had an inquiry. We were not able to answer that inquiry at the time that he had that, so we deferred ruling on it, and Representative Bly seemed to be okay with that. Representative Bly, for what purpose do you rise?
Mr. Speaker, on point of personal privilege, could you please ask the chamber to be quiet? I just had a hard time hearing what you said.
Certainly. Members, please refrain from conversations on the floor. Take them to the alcove or to the retiring room. Representative Pinto, what normally would happen in a conference committee is that there would be a chair from the House or the Senate that would be appointed that would schedule that. It would rotate back and forth as to who's the chair depending upon how long the conference committee is in meeting. What happened today, and according to my understanding of Representative Bly's inquiry, was he was wanting to know who canceled that. We were unable to find the answer to that at this time, and so we deferred ruling on that. And we were about ready to recess the chamber to go to caucus, and then you had raised your point of parliamentary inquiry.
So, Mr. Speaker, privilege of the House.
Representative Pinto.
Mr. Speaker, I guess, so it does seem to me that Representative Bly, as I understand that he is the chair of the joint committee, and therefore, based on what you just said, that he should be the person who should be having the responsibility to call, cancel, reschedule, whatever it is, meetings. And this is under the organization of the House, which is why I've raised as a privilege of the House. Thank you.
The motion before the body right now is to recess until approximately 1 o'clock p.m. or to the call of the chair. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Mr. Speaker.
Representative Bly, for what purpose do you rise?
Mr. Speaker, point of personal privilege.
Representative Bly, state your additional point of personal privilege this morning.
I'm wondering if Representative Hamilton would yield for a series of questions.
Representative Bly, under a point of personal privilege, as we established earlier, that is not appropriate to ask for another member to yield under a point of personal privilege.
Thanks. Then I would announce that the conference committee will be meeting at 3 o'clock.
The motion before the House is to recess until approximately 1 o'clock p.m. or the call of the chair. All of those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries. We are in recess until approximately 1 p.m.